Guys, welcome to Choice to Stop Show. Today I have a guest with me. It's no other person than Akene and OAP. Akene, welcome to Choices.
Pleasure to have you.
So Akene, please can you introduce yourself? Let's get to know you better.
So, my name is Ekene Odigwe.
Odiko,
Yes, I like to lay emphasis on that. I'm a development journalist.
Okay.
And I work a lot around PR and digital media. So,
Okay.
most of my stories are based on social sectors and how to tell stories and for developmental purposes.
Alright.
Basically, that is what I do.
We do.
Yeah,
Alright.
and on the side is just basically I don't want to okay. On the side is digital media, so using the idea of digital media to tell stories, export stories from Africa and within Nigeria.
Alright. That's quite nice.
Thank you very much.
Today we'll be talking about how to attract the right partner. I don't understand the way you're smiling.
No, I like the fact that you said partner, so it's neutrality.
No, we're talking about relationship.
Yes, it is. We're saying the same thing.
Okay.
So a lot of times when we talk about relationship or a lot of things, fireworks sort of, but when with your word partner, it's balanced.
Okay.
So it can fit in anywhere.
Yeah, where you can fit in any, but this particular one talking about romance, relationship, marriage, stuff like that. How do you attract the right person?
I can't tell you how to attract it. I can tell you. Can I tell you even that? Okay, I can tell you how you can attract, but I can tell you how mine worked, or how mine has always been. I believe in the principle of understanding you
Okay.
and defining what is it you want from the very beginning, from the outset. You should be able to say, I want tall, fair, dark, I want God-fearing, I want purpose-driven. You have to have that idea. Because if you do not, every other person that comes your way, you get to not be able to define them. Because at that point, you're just like a boat floating.
Yeah.
Anything rocks you and that's it. And that's why when you tell people date or something like, I do not get it, I don't believe in the idea. Because yeah, exactly, because from the beginning they don't even know what is it they want. They want to eat one today and eat it tomorrow. And who says you can be cooking all of that
In one pot.
in your house? And yeah, exactly. You make the changes right at home. So it's about the spice you're bringing on board, and that's what makes you you.
Okay. So if one should come to you and ask, okay, fine, okay, I know you have a blossoming relationship, you have a beautiful partner that you say I do with. So how did that happen? What are the principles you're going to lay out for the person?
Funnily enough, the person I'm with now do not have a very beautiful story about me before we met.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, so-
People like to hear that.
So I just got back,
Mm.
but then we had mutual friends that I do not even know, but they do know me. You know how people hang out, and then talks came up. My name popped. They're like, don't even bother. He won't talk to you.
Okay.
So somehow, one of those lounges I hosted brunch,
Okay.
and they came over. It wasn't supposed to be a big thing. It's something I do with my
All get
friends.
together.
Yeah, once a while we'll get around. We'll have either games night, we'll have brunch, or we'll have sleepovers. All of those things.
Okay.
And during the brunch, conversation started about who's dating who and who's who. And then we just kept laughing. And I walked up and said, I think you're a very nice person.
Who said, she or you?
She said,
Okay.
Okay. That's not the story of you I've heard. I'm like, okay.
Okay. So you're being judged based on what she's heard about you.
Yeah, but I'm used to it, so it didn't really bother me.
It shouldn't, right?
Yeah, so we just ended like that, and everyone,
So
this
the course of
passed.
attraction started from there.
For her, for me, it was just one of those people that would just stop you on the way and say, "Oh, I like the way you speak." And like, "Oh, okay," and that's why it didn't mean anything.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so oh, okay.
So at what point did this mean something?
I'm big on conversation. I'm big on communication.
Okay.
So I don't believe in the idea of distance.
Okay.
Even if we're far apart, I want to be talking to you morning, afternoon, night. I want to be able to tell you how my day was, what happened with me, stories. As I'm stepping out of the house, in my head, I'm seeing things and I'm building them up that I'm
Okay.
going to share in the evening. And
Okay.
my perfect time of the day, it's late in the evening, you're just sitting by the balcony, and then you have your scotch or whatever you're drinking, and then you're narrating how your day was. It's amazing.
Okay.
And that's for me. So we started conversation
So I
from
think for
WhatsApp.
you, conversation and
It's
communication
I'm big.
is key.
I'm big. If we're not talking, then we have no business being together.
Wow, that's huge
So for anyone who's thinking with a relationship, find out what works for you.
for you.
That's what works for me, because I believe if we're having issues, one way we could sort it out is when we talk about it. If we're not talking about it, then yeah, the fights will come, because when you're communicating, the fights will erupt. You said this, take out of context, and it will happen.
Okay.
That is about how you handle it that will make it work.
Okay.
So
Now let's guys hung out, attraction came up, and what has sustained the relationship? Would you say you guys have same purpose or principles, or did you see the principles or whatever you set out to see in her? You know, those are the things. you
Okay.
like to-
it was just communication. I'll explain that. So
Okay.
I'm this very particular person.
Okay.
I'm meticulous. I don't want to be meticulous, for lack of words.
Okay.
So I like when I keep my phone here. I want to
Want to
come
meet
back.
your
Yeah,
bed.
exactly. So I want, when I leave the house, I know the image of how my bed has been made. I want to come back and meet my bed. I like my space. I want, when a cup is kept here, I know the mug is always here. No matter, it's always
I hope you know
exactly.
when you start having children, those things are not going to be the same.
Let's get to that bridge.
But why are you not planning yourself
So,
ahead of that?
No, I like the future plan,
Okay.
children and all, but I also like the idea that you have to live for now to be able to present future.
Okay.
So if you're living for the future in the present, there's a mix-up, there's a mix
Did
match.
she get to know all about this before entering in
Yes.
relationship with you? Okay. And
And
she's
Like my conversation, it's like I said, I'm big on conversation. So we had lots of hangouts, typical date. We talk about things. We get back home. We talk on WhatsApp. So from the beginning, I always stated clear.
okay.
These are the things I want. This is me. So
Okay.
and from after 2-3 days, it's clear to me that okay, this is it. And I said that on WhatsApp.
Okay.
This is where we are headed. So we are on board. Are you on board?
Okay. Right, now you've finally established the fact that communication is key for you. You want someone you want to discuss with and all that. But now let's come to the religious angle. Someone wants to, okay, paint me for an instance. I want to find the right partner. I want to attract the right partner. What are those salient things or points you think I should look out for, or that I should be to attract that person? Sometimes you have to be good and right to attract the kind of people you want towards you. I don't know if you understand me. So what are those key points you think you can give out?
I would say just be you.
Okay.
If you're very religious, be religious. If you're not very, don't be. If you're a Christian and you pray 5 hours every day, just do you, whatever rocks your boat. So if the person you're meeting, it's someone that understands prayer and would pray with you for 5 hours, at least within the time there's courtship, person should understand that, and the person also need to understand what works for you. So you could be a Christian and you're the part that wears trousers for ladies. So if the guy likes ladies that wear trousers, that still go to church, that understand God and prays to God, fine.
Right.
That's I would say, talk it over. Shoot your shot. If you're the guy, if you're the girl, where was it? Anyone can answer.
Do you believe in a girl shooting her shots like
Oh,
asking the
please,
guy
it's about, do you like the guy? Ask the guy out. Two things will happen. See, in this whole idea of relationship,
Yeah.
a lot of persons would argue a guy has to ask you for you to know, or guy. Sometimes it doesn't really work. Things are changing. All right. No matter how much we want to look at it, this is the way we are. So you're a lady. you like a guy
Mm.
and you keep waiting for the guy to like you or wink at you, and some other lady is liking the same
It's
guy,
shooting her shots,
and you're there
positioning
waiting.
herself.
The thing is, even in the church setting, take
Okay.
for instance,
Okay.
choristers,
Mm.
we all went to university, so you have the NFCS, you have the NCS,
Yes.
lots of them,
Yeah.
and then we have choir, the choristers, and everyone sings. So sometimes, even from the gallery of the church, you're seeing what's going on. It could be fancying an usher, and the usher could be fancying someone else in the choir, and all he needed was
Are
to
you
say,
speaking from experience?
I am not talking.
I don't want to know. Let our viewers know.
All you needed was just to come out and say what you have in mind and let it out.
So, okay.
See, most times situations like this, if I'm going to do that, what I always tell myself, what's the worst that could happen?
Is
You
it
say
like
no.
yes or you know?
But you also do know a lot of persons do not know how to take no for an answer,
Yeah.
especially when they're reaching out to this amazing person they really do like, and they're thinking of how to tell their friends, and then and so you have to figure all of that out, and then are you going after this person or are you saying yes to this person, even in the church setting, because you really do like her or you do like him, or you want to be able to show this person off. Trophies.
I don't think that's genuine love. I think you're looking for a trophy girlfriend or wife you want to show off.
Genuine, well, people will tell you that they really do care.
Okay, first let's address this. Is relationship or attracting the right partner all about superficial? Like, is it just what you see on the outside?
This is where I would also fall back again on communication and defining you. So, you know what works for you, you build onto that. So, you could see someone that is fine, tall, dark, and all of that, but that's not what you're looking for. For me, you could be fine, tall, and all of that, and you're not big on communication, and I'm cleaning after you. I won't do it.
You'll be at
No. I won't do it.
Do you think that one should set a certain standard for his or herself before you meet the right person or to attract the right person? And also, when you meet this person, do you think that you should bring your standards low? Because some people tell you, oh, you're growing older, I think you should bring down your standard, tame down a bit, your standard is too high, no one can match up to that, What do you think about it?
True relationship is really about compromise.
Okay.
So you two have to find a way to meet each other halfway. For instance, even if you have don't lower your standards for anyone, for crying out loud. Just be you. Yes, if the person walked in and the person likes you with your messiness, with your unfinished business and all of that, and the person is still madly, I like this, I like all of that. That's it. Right. But when you keep saying, okay, let me lower my standard for this person, that's why you start having a lot of issues when you eventually get married, because that is not you.
Yeah, that's true. And
then you realize that the person is very messy and doesn't communicate, and then you're like, oh, this is not what I signed up for. That's what you signed up for. You did not do your background check.
Checks.
Yeah, so find you. When you find you, put you out and let the world see you. So apart from the physical, the idea of talking to people. So if you do not want to be talking to anybody and you like a space, fine. Maybe you're one of the people, like I know a friend that he's not big on communication. So whatever people he's dated in the past are always big on communication, there's always disconnects. He doesn't want that. He feels choked.
Okay.
Yeah, for me, it's me. So we're friends, so we gist and talk about that. So when people he's dating at the moment comes by and they were talking about, so who are you seeing at the moment? And then he gets to talk about them and like, but I don't like, she's always calling me morning after night. Yeah, so find out what works for you. Find someone that's maybe not so big on communication. Maybe the person just wants to say, hello, hi, good, fine. And that's it. Monosyllabic words. You just keep it at that. And find beyond that. As you're living in the present, maybe one step, not 5 steps. You asked about okay, marriage and all of that. Yeah, I understand the idea of thinking for the future, but also understand the idea of living in the present to enjoy the present. So while you're doing all of that, you're thinking, okay, so what happens next? Okay, so, which was in my case, I was like, okay, this is it. I'm done searching, so I'm going in, and that's where if you ask me, are we going to get married tomorrow? I can't tell you that. I don't know. Yes.
But the relationship was defined according to you.
Defined. When I said defined, I didn't say I'm going to marry you. I said yes. I said I'm going to date you. Yes. So I don't like the look on your
It's
face.
okay, but we know it's tilting towards that.
But it's not said. It's implied, but not said. I'm like I said, I want to hear it. So it's just like someone saying, "I love you." Okay, love you. I don't like the word "love you," and I don't like the word "love you too."
Why?
So when I say what happens to the I want to hear
okay,
I love you, and I want
must
to
be
hear
a commitment.
I want you to say back to me.
You too.
No, don't put the two.
Okay.
I love you. You forget the
Oh,
two.
the two is okay. It's
Yeah.
not
Yeah,
needed.
it's not needed.
Why? Why is it not needed?
Because I love you.
But what's
You know-
the better? I love you more.
I don't want all those things.
You just want
Love
to
is love. It's defined. It's love. So
Alright.
when you're in love, you could love more.
I'd
Love
like to
less.
stop you here. Let's go on a quick break. We'll be right back. Welcome back, guys. Before we went on a quick break, we're talking about how to attract the right partner. Ekene was actually taking me on quite a journey. So you said something about when you tell someone you love the person, you expect the person to say, I love you too. Just say, I love you and leave the two. What's that about?
Love is love. So when I tell you I love you, and if you're not ready to say it back, that is okay. But don't tell me I love you too. It sounded almost like okay, I'm telling you so you
Because you
don't
need
feel
to hear it.
so you don't feel I do not love you. More like I'm compensating you and
Saying you
rewarding
love
you. Yeah, just tell me you love me and and love you. I love you. Don't say love me. There has to be the I.
Okay, don't say love you.
And
say,
don't type
I
it.
love you. And don't say I love you too. Don't say I love you more.
And same also, okay, for a lot of persons, just like, you just have to figure all of these things out. So I don't like abbreviation in my text messages, I don't do that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, believe me,
You're an ancient man.
I
in a
know.
young skin.
I feel it's more graceful.
Okay.
Yeah, it's more proper to do that, to put your sentence so people don't miscalculate or misinterpret, or even mutual intelligibility could be lost in the whole of those things.
Really?
Yes. So, if, for instance, someone sends STU, it was sent to you. For some other people, it could mean something else. And somebody sent YWYD. First time I saw that, what is this? And the person said, what are you doing? I said, there's no, what are you doing? It sounded a lot like American Brooklyn pidgin English. What you doing? My hands there, I didn't really like it. So, what are you doing? Type it full. And then, growing the relationship, find out, like, remember when we were having a conversation about a date for this recording, and I said, Thursdays do not work for me.
Yes.
So because Thursday is always my date night, so I'm always on date night on Thursday. So we do not fix anything on Thursdays. So Thursdays, wherever we are at 7 p.m., what we'll be saying before 7 p.m., by this evening we'll be thinking, okay, where are we going for a date? All of that. Are we doing it at home? We're doing it at which of the lounges or something. So Thursdays is always my date night, so I don't fix anything.
Okay.
On that
What
day.
if something comes up and it's going to bring in a whole lot of money? You
Believe me.
cancel.
That's why you are at the end to make.
I think you're more of a principled man, so you have principles and you need someone to meet up or meet you halfway in those principles set by you.
Set by me, set by us. I didn't say
No,
every
the
Thursday.
date night, I think, must have been your idea.
Okay.
And she's following suit because it's
No,
just
the first time.
Mm.
That's the thing. The first time we officially said, "This is it," was on the Thursday, and we had it on a date night.
Oh, I see.
And so it's more of a renewal for us. So the first time, and this next week, before the Thursday next week, she proposed, "Okay, why don't you hang out this Thursday again?" And after I'm like, you know what? We could make it a date night.
Okay.
Yeah, make it our date night, and okay, fine. And most times that's it. So it's a conversation. It's not about imposing it. You have to find a way to let the person in and let the person understand. Yeah, I could be strong-willed. Yeah, and but I also know I could be excess. So what I try to do most times is I try to communicate that via WhatsApp or message even before we would meet. Maybe exactly, so I could just let it out, and then we will see it's a lot more easier. And there's no overstepping of boundaries, there's no pushing, and there's no fighting back. So everybody understands all of that.
All right, now let's come to the spiritual angle. Do you believe that, or do you believe in prophets telling people, okay, this is your spouse or your future partner? Or do you believe in people saying, okay, my spirit led me, or I had a dream, or I prayed and God revealed to me this is the right person and I'm waiting and all that? Do you believe in any of that?
For some, yeah, when you say my spirit led me, I can understand that, which most times people misrepresent the idea of their context, or is it, yeah, now? Or their intuitiveness to spirit. Yeah, but that's okay. So whatever you want to call it. But so what matters is that you're able to take that and run with it. So if you believe that whatever your pastor says is going to happen, and over the years you build your faith around it, and it's been working for you, please by all means do follow it.
When it's not working.
When it's not working for you, you may re-strategize. I believe in the idea that if it's not working, go back to the drawing board. Take them all apart. There's something my friends and I do. We critique each other. We critique to the point where we even look at plus, minus, cross T's, dots. For somebody that doesn't know, we'll say, you people are witch hunting each other. But that's how we critique our proposal, we critique our essays, we critique our fellowship essay, and all of that.
And it helps you grow.
Yes. We built this formidable team that we joke about everything. Even when we're having lunch, we're thinking of ideas and we're critiquing it until the question is, or the idea is, if I can ask myself this question, outsiders will ask me, I'll have an answer to that. So before you say what you want to say, we've asked ourselves same, and we'll figure out an answer, and we'll know that it does not work. So if it does not work, we should try another. Exactly. So for you, if what your pastor or man of God in your life, or whoever that is, spiritual, that links you to a spiritual being in your life, speaks, does not connect, then you may want to re-strategize. But if it does, enjoy it.
All right. One last question before you go. For someone struggling to attract the right person into their lives, some people tell you, "Oh, I've been dating, and all I've got is people who are not serious, people who will come and waste my time, who will break my heart, both for the male and female." So, for such a person, what would you say to the person? Is the person doing something wrong in particular that's making this to happen? Or is there a way the person needs to go back to the drawing board and probably think on what to do or how to develop the person?
This 21st century moving into fourth industrial revolution, critical thinking, positive thinking are one of those skills a lot of employers would look out for. So most times they would ask you, are you a tea person or are you a coffee person? Are you a dog person or are you a cat person? And for someone they will think, why are you asking me all this? Instead of asking me
my qualification.
Exactly. So what they're trying to find out is your temperament and how you handle crisis, leadership style, and all of that. Okay. So for someone, what I would say is go back. So maybe in the beginning, your mind, you've always built an image of maybe short person, tall person, and then that's the people that come around you. So maybe subconsciously, you say, no, I do not, but you do. Subconsciously. So you need to go back and consciously start positively re-strategizing your mind on things, how you say them, how you see them. And then ideally, the people you converse with, what you say to them, what they say to you, how you respond to them has to change as well. So all of those things will help you to reposition. Mind thinking and mind positioning is not something you wake up with one morning and it's done. It's something you build over the years. But first is identifying that there is a problem. So when you do not agree there is a problem, you cannot identify the problem, not talk about repositioning or fighting the challenge.
And do you think these problems could be spiritual? Like a witch attacking someone from somewhere.
No comment.
Why no comments?
It's you, which I'm not saying evil do not exist,
Okay.
but most times the witch we have is the witch we witch ourselves.
Explain.
So your mind, if anything that happens, let me give you an instance. I met someone, when we're having a conversation or something pops up, the first thing that comes to her mind is the negative part of it. For instance, we're driving down here, and she would be like, "What happens if the brake fails and then we crash everybody and go down?"
Okay.
And then you're positioning this thing here, and you're like, "What happens if
Just
this side
crashes,
tilts?"
so-
Exactly. There's nothing positive coming out there.
coming out.
And I'm like, your mind is so negative. For once, don't think of, okay, what happens if these cars start flying?
And think
That would work
positive.
better. Exactly. Than saying, what happens if the brake fails? And it's not like that's not being or the people will tell you, okay, I'm trying to prepare in case that there's no.
Yeah, I think I've heard that. People will tell you always have a plan B in case something happens.
Your plan B should be positive as well. Your alternative or plan B.
Or they say, I'm preparing for the worst moments
Oh,
in case it happens.
That's where, for me, the idea you ask yourself, first thing is, what's the worst that could happen? So find that out and then, rock and roll.
Alright, it's been fun chatting with you on this topic. Thank you so very much for coming and thank you for sharing your story.
Thank
But
you
you've
so much
said,
for having me.
you've told them not to break down your standard. If you have a certain standard, don't lower it for anybody. Just look for someone who synchronizes in that same direction with you and start up something beautiful. I appreciate you for coming. Alright guys, thank you so very much for joining us on Choices and for listening to all we've said today. I believe this would actually help someone build a better and a healthy relationship and also help someone attract the right partner into their lives. Like we said, if you like a man, well, I'm not of the opinion that you go shooting your shots, but then if you like a man, shoot your shots. Don't go hovering around the person. And if you like a girl, fine, do same. And also, if you are building a relationship, try and find out if you share the same standards, if you have the same standards, if you share the same understanding, beliefs, and find out your love language, what works for you, if it works for the person or if the person can adapt to it. Thank you so very much for having me. God bless you.